What's up, everybody? Bitcoin is crashing, crypto markets are bleeding, and your girlfriend or wife is asking you, honey, what the F is happening to Bitcoin? We'll talk about that and more. Is it time for doom and gloom in crypto? See you on the other side. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, guys, to this beautiful, hot, muggy July here on the East Coast of America. And America's birthday just passed, the 4th of July. This is America. All right. And so on this festive day of America, the home of the largest capital markets in the world, with a presidential race that's coming up. I don't know if you guys saw the debate, but I sure did. What are we seeing with Bitcoin going aggressively down in price action? And is it time for doom and gloom? We're going to jump into that. We're going to look at the charts. We're going to look at some fun and anticipatory things happening on the Jewelers Guild. And we're going to look at Jewel, which is part of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. We're going to look at AVAX, which is the larger market cap blockchain that DeFi Kingdoms has a subnet on. And then we're going to look even deeper into the AVAX ecosystem on the meme coins end in relation to sports, gambling, the trajectory on that, and a particular project that's maybe not just the meme coin, maybe dabbling more into real world entertainment, real world product. Now, guys, I am not in my usual setting, so please tell me if there is a humming that's coming through. Please tell me if my connection isn't strong. You guys always hold it down by letting me know what's going up. So putting that in the air. Want to give a big shout out to the chat. Us streamers, we are nothing without the chat. And so shout out to Skiller, shout out to Ren Penn, who's been making waves in the Jewelers Guild. Shout out to Sticks Intern, to Noobs, what it do, gang gang. And shout out to Zen who just popped in as well. Uh, in relation to doom and gloom, Stick says it is in fact time for doom and gloom in crypto. Would love a Web3 version of Doom. Never heard of Gloom before. Sounds like a fun game. Yeah, I'm just speaking in terms of the phrase, but I feel like Sticks Intern might have played every single possible game out there. So let's cover a few things that we want to make sure that we cover in the beginning portion of this. And one of those is our favorite donate live. All right. Donate live, if you do not know, is an awesome application that allows streamers to interact with the chat. Those who are watching the streams can donate live. Get it? As you guys see, my link is placed there. And I just appreciate everyone that donates here. It makes me feel like there's some value to the content that we're putting out there and the different things that we are covering. This is the leaderboard here. And Tamaja G is just absolutely killing it. But don't worry, okay? The jewelers are not too far off. We have Zen here as number 2. The DeFi Kingdom space is not too far off. We have Kupo, and I've just been battling with Sticks Intern back and forth, for this 4th or 5th place seat here. But love this. And we're gonna take a quick look at my dashboard. I've gotten some great donations over time. And my most recent one actually was like 100,000 gold from K Jetto. So appreciate you, sir, for that. Along with our other announcements, we do have Donate Live announcing a 1,000 USD giveaway. Again, just a great platform, not only providing the ability for chat and streamers, viewers to integrate with each other, but they're also doing an awesome giveaway up to $1,000. And the first part is an event that is from from now to the 15th of July. So there's still time. And how it works, the more Don points you hold, the more entries you have in the lucky draw. Every 100 Don 3 points will give you 1 entry. So we're scrambling to get as many Don points as possible. If you are on Twitter, you can head over to this post. All right, donate live, and you can get 400 points for quoting this post and tagging 3 of your friends. So hey, we are in a lot of different airdrops, raffles, things of that nature. And so if you're looking for another way to get some cash money dollars, this is one of the ways. And big shout outs to Donate Live for that. Moving forward, we know that we have PvP coming in the DeFi Kingdoms world. Command your legion, claim your legacy. NFT based MMORPG combat world that we're currently playing in. And with the anticipated release of PvP, we are preparing for player versus player combat, but more specifically, one hosted by the Jewelers. Okay. We actually had a vote for the name, and unanimously, the vote was for JCL, Jewelers Combat League. There's going to be a league of about 20 teams max, and we're just garnering the interest, those who want to partake. There's going to be massive prizes. We will talk about this more in the next stream, which is going to be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Myself and the Heat on the Jewelers podcast. We will dig more in depth with this, but that's what we have coming up in the Jewelers Guild in association with DeFi Kingdoms. So Shout out to Brovia in the building as well. Always the man who inspired me to stack up some PJs. And one of my favorite PJs ever is my rare PJ Priest. My highest level hero at the current moment, gearing towards level 18. I think one or two more hunts, and I got that bad boy. I think it's a girl actually. That bad girl at level 18. So shout out to Brovia for that. So let's start up our conversation. All right, let's start up our conversation about, is it time for doom and gloom in crypto? You know, I have this graphic here that's like, honey, what the F is happening to Bitcoin? And my wife always asks me, especially when her account is down. And I'm like, look, have patience. This is what happens in a bull market. This is what happens in a bear market. We are anticipating a period in which there should be appreciation for us to take profit. Patience is key. What you see in 1 or 2 months is not indicative of the overall macro picture, macro prices, and macro wise where this industry is going. So, in her recent question of what the hell is happening with my account, I said, honey, this is the setup. This is the setup. And let me tell you more. And that's what we're going to dig into today. All right. Um, so, are we in doom and gloom? Is price action going to go down forever? Are we going into a bear market? Let's talk about it. In order for me to paint this picture uh, for you guys, and this is my opinion, not financial advice. Do not take anything I say or do as financial advice. Uh, we are going to look at Bitcoin, AVAX, Jewel, and we're going to talk overall about market cycles, what we're seeing. When you're looking at charts and trying to time smaller time frames in comparison to trying to predict larger time frames, right? The difference between those two things, and then a full determination of, are we bullish? Are we bearish? Are we bear market? All right, so that's what a part of the practice of what we're doing today. This stream will be efficient because myself and T Heat will be hosting the Jewelers podcast that comes on after this. So let's go over what we have been tracking from day one. Okay. What have we been tracking? Well, not even day one. What have we been tracking for the last freaking 2 years? Right. We've been going through this downtrend. Right. We were all a part of this uptrend in 2020, 2021. We all know the story. If you're in the DeFi Kingdoms realm, you saw the rise of AVAX. You saw the rise of Solana, the layer ones. We saw Jewel run to $25, $26. And then we saw this bleed, right? We're looking at the monthly chart of Bitcoin's price action, which means every candle is a month. And over at this 15K region, we saw price going down, but we saw RSI coming up. First indication of a macro bullish divergence. We got this impulse. And even from this impulse in the month of July and August of last year, we saw price stalled. It just stalled. Okay. We can even look at after this big run here, this was April, May, June, July, and August. Price just stalled. Okay. And then you had a really big red candle that scared the market. Interestingly enough, we're in a similar period, June, July, and going into August, the price has just stalled. Over here, price stalled because of the clogging, okay, because of a lot of resistance that's here. Over here, price stalled or is stalling because of these all-time high level here. So when the price stalled here, what we were looking for, we looked at this is called a Bollinger Band. All right, it is an indicator that calculates the average range of price action on the bottom end, middle end, top end. And after this long downturn, we said that we would like to see 25K hold this Bollinger Band and create an upward curvature. That would give us an indication that this stalling area is not going to come down like this, but the stalled area is going to find price support. Okay, it's important that I give you guys this context. And so now we have that same indicator, that same mid Bollinger on the monthly. Each month is a candle. It has slowly been creeping up, right? Price moved above it. Price just went crazy. Bitcoin ran to all-time high. Bitcoin ETF, and we had this average range of moving price slowly creeping up. Okay, and so what we're looking at here on the monthly is this downtrend. And if we dig in a little bit closer, right? Let's dig in a little bit closer. If you guys were following me on Twitter at all, and I want to swap over to Twitter really quickly. And I'm going to check in on the chat as well as I'm doing that, because sometimes I can get rambly. But let's tap into the chat. Let's see. Brovia says, "Don't worry, baby. These DFK NFTs are good." I gotta stick to the story. I gotta stick to the story, right? Skiller says, "Wife, why is everything down?" Me, Brovia made another video. I mean, Brovia just keeps it a buck, right? Brovia just keeps it real. All right, so I'm gonna share this tweet that I have here, and this was, when was this? This was okay, March 26th, March 14th, March 14th. Okay, so March 14th, you know, Bitcoin hit all-time high. Euphoria is super high. Everybody's super bullish. And we just say, hey, look, Bitcoin's due for a 20 to 30% correction. Because that's just naturally what happens after hitting all-time high. Naturally, what happens similar to this area after hitting a resistance. And so, actually, as of last week, I was actually very bullish. And I was very bullish because I anticipated 58K holding as a strong support area. That's what I expected, right? And let me just go back a little bit. This yellow area that we see here is called the bull market support area. Pay close attention to when we move over to AVAX, when we move over to Joule. What is the bull market support area? The bull market support area for any chart is the do or die region. On the way up, it's the do or die region. On the way down, is the do or die region. It can tell you if you're in a bull market, and it can tell you that if you're entering a bear market. So all in all, $46,000. I mean, even if Bitcoin crashed below 50, the bull market support area is 46,000, right? That's just plain and simple, right? That's just plain and simple. That's where the bull market support area is. If we were to dip below this to the 30s, start getting real nervous. But that's the bull market support area. But when you're doing charts, you know, you're trying to isolate and figure out these smaller time regions. And that can be difficult because nobody is perfect and nobody knows exactly timing when it comes to that. So we did have a descending wedge, and we were following the pattern of a falling wedge. A falling wedge is bullish when you are having aggressive price action. We had aggressive price action from that 15K region, and Normally, what you see from a falling wedge, and we've been tracking this for the last 2 months, right? This was March. Yeah, so since March, when we've been tracking this, and normally from a falling wedge, right, you get 3 touch points, right? You want to get 3 touch points. So you want to get 3 touch points in the top. So that's one up top here, one down here. That's two here, two here. That's three here, three here. You get a breakout. Okay. Those are the rules for a falling wedge. So we were really excited to see this breakout. Once you get the breakout, you normally see what we call a back test. And this is why I believe that 58K for Bitcoin was a great support area. Because, hey, if this is a falling wedge, if this is the pattern that we're seeing, we should then get what? A breakout from that falling wedge. And that's what started to happen here. And then boom, we get a dump. So this is no longer a falling wedge, because with the rules of a falling wedge, you cannot have that back test of that former resistance be lower than the breakout. You don't want it to be lower than the breakout. So this is no longer the pattern in which we're tracking. But it is interesting that we still got a bounce from the top of this channel, which is the falling wedge that we're tracking. Does this mean now that we're good to go? No, because one of the rules of the falling wedge is it is not supposed to break below the impulse, okay? And so what does this tell us now? Well, what this tells us is that we can no longer rely on the falling wedge. Bitcoin is up today 2.7%, was even as high as 3.5%. It's just getting some relief. It's getting some relief after this downwards price action. And oops, sorry. I think chat. I was. I don't think I was sharing the price action screen, so my apologies for that. I'm gonna quickly just brief over the gist of what I was saying. Okay, all-time high March. You want to get 3 bounces. One, two, two, three. Breakout. Test this area. 58. Go ahead. If this was the pattern that we were looking at, that we were talking about on the Julius Discord, that's what we would have seen. We can no longer call this a falling wedge because it has come below the breakout. It's come below the breakout. But we have had a bounce on the top of the channel. So this is relief after major price action going down. Now, in relation to the tweet that I showed you guys about Bitcoin being due for a 20 to 30% correction, the first time that it dipped to about 56,000, that was a 22% correction. Now that we've dipped to 53,000, we are that much closer to that 30% that we speak about, right? That we were tracking since the all-time high, that we were pessimistic in that March region. So if we were to get the full 30% correction, where does that bring us? It brings us to 52,000. So we have to take 52,000 into consideration, because that is that 20 to 30% correction that we spoke about in that early March region. Even though we got bullish recently, thinking that we could find support at 58, that was invalidated, right? When you're in a bull market, you have to be okay with times in which price action comes down. We also have to be prepared to possibly test the bull market support area, which for Bitcoin is 46,000. Okay, we are getting some relief here, and it is possible that this relief, right, could just hover and bounce in this area until it's ready to go. Now, the opinion that the trade room had previously was that if we were to have found support at 58,000 and to break out, we believe that the top of the market would be around somewhere in that October to December region. If we continue this downtrend and test 52,000 and possibly test 46,000, that pushes that timeline further up for the top of the market, where it starts to look like November to January, right? November to February of 2025. If anybody tells you they know timing to a T, they are lying. But we're working on probability, and as long as we stay above this bull market support area, we're still absolutely bullish. And for someone like me who hasn't been able to stack up all the jewel that I would like to, this is actually a blessing. And what I am doing is just looking at the chart and looking for further information as to what we have going on here. So this is it for Bitcoin. Okay, that's the analysis. Okay, we have a bull market support area here, which is also the F around and find out zone. Okay, we're looking at the monthly chart with each candle being a month, and this indicator that was the great turnaround. You guys can see this. You don't need to know much about charts. You can see this great turnaround based upon this Bollinger Band here, which is what it's called. And you're seeing this now creeping into that bull market support area, creeping into that F around and find out zone. So as this creeps into this area, because it's a strong area that is a support, we can also have price needing it at that bull market support area. Don't be surprised by that. You can also have Bitcoin just hovering in this area, while this mid Bollinger creeps in and meets it here, and that 52K or that 58K can form and be a support area. Now, the one thing that I do want to point out, and that's it for Bitcoin at this point, still strongly believe that Bitcoin goes to 92K and goes to 92K very fast when it finally decides to move. I'm a believer that everything above 90K is very high risk. And so, not financial advice from my end, between 100K, 120K, whatever assets I have, looking to take some profit from it. And DXY is something that is opposite a lot of times of the market, and DXY in a monthly has started to go down. We won't get into all that. It is time to now move on to AVAX. Okay, it is now time to move on to AVAX. That is our guesstimation of Bitcoin. All right, our guesstimation of Bitcoin is that we have our bull market support area, we have the monthly chart creeping up, and at some point they will converge. And once that conversion happens, we can move on, but we may be having to adjust when we think the top of the market is, which may shift from that October to December region to now that November to January, February region. Either way, no confidence lost that we are still in a bullish market and we still have higher prices to come. Shout out to J Dub entering the chat currently. So we then move on to AVAX. And why are we moving on to AVAX? Why are we not looking at Ethereum? Ethereum is the altcoin, altcoin season indicator. But we're looking at AVAX because we are in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. Simply put. And so what were we looking at AVAX with? Well, very similar to Bitcoin. Again, this mid Bollinger that was on this downtrend, right, made this curvature here. And once it made this curvature, AVAX price action went ballistic, right? Moved up about 700%. Okay. And so we labeled, right, since $8 we were tracking AVAX, we labeled 2135 as the bull market support area. And let's switch over to the weekly chart. And we expected AVAX to correct down. We've been expecting this since this first tap here, April of this year. We got that downwards price action, and we expect this bull market support area at $21 to hold. And this was the guesstimation that we had on it. And what's actually really, really interesting is that when Bitcoin started to dip, right? Again, bull market support area at $21. When Bitcoin dipped to that 53, 54 area that it dipped to, AVAX corrected how much percent? AVAX corrected 27%. Jeez. But lo and behold, what did we see? We have seen the strongest reaction to this bull market support area. This is what you want to see if you're doing charts and you label something a support or resistance area. If you label something a macro support or resistance area, and it just comes and breaks right through it, you're like, whoa, okay, maybe this is not a support area. Maybe this is not a resistance area. But AVAX, as soon as it got to that bull market support area, has had one of the strongest reactions we've seen in a long time. One of the strongest reactions we've seen since May of this year. And even since, since about May of this year. So after going down 27%, how much has AVAX gone up? AVAX has gone right back up 27%. And we said that this $31 area is a resistance area. Oh, well, it became a resistance area. And so for AVAX, absolutely confident, absolutely bullish in AVAX. And what we're seeing here is a strong bounce from here. And what we could get again is a rejection and just consolidation. Consolidation between 21, consolidation between 31, 21, 31, 21, 31, 21 savage, 21, 31. That's what we're looking at until we get a breakout. And so if you were foolish enough to be buying AVAX at $67, at $48 because you thought you were missing out or because you thought it was getting ready to run, and our upside for AVAX is $24. If those are the prices you were buying, then you should be absolutely licking your chops at $21 and very excited that this bull market support area is holding. So that's what we have for AVAX. That's what we're going to continue to track. We're anticipating just basically side trading until it exits out of this side trading range. Okay, so that then takes us to Jewel. Okay, that then takes us to Jewel. Before we look at Jewel, going to go ahead and tap into the charts. I'm sorry, tap into the chat. All right, cool. Chat chilling right now. Chat chilling because I'm giving them a listen. All right, so now on to Jewel. Okay, now let's. I made a tweet. About a month ago, maybe a month and change ago, where it was like, hey, have you ever seen a do or die moment? For Jewel, we are in the do or die moment, where you have this capitulation after price crash in 2022 from $26 to 11 cents, all right, 11.5 cents. You had this price action that happened here. You had the whole whale selling, which has brought us into depression. And then you have where we are right now. Okay, you have where we are right now. And this is the do or die moment. Okay, this is a macro inverse head and shoulders that I put my neck out there and that I called, expecting 11 cents to hold as support. Now, if price action goes below that support, it doesn't mean that it's been invalidated. It just means that it is now establishing that area as a support. And now we have seen, and this is each candle is 3 days. Now we have seen this area, the market continue to aggressively buy this area. And what I mean by that is you have price come here, market bought it up. You have price dip below, market bought it up. You have price hanging out here. Bitcoin went down 10% in 1 week. Market aggressively buys it back up. Okay, so this 11.5 cent region is starting to show its ass off as an area of interest from the market. And if it's able to hold through this corrective period, establish that area as the support area, then we can confirm the inverse head and shoulders that we have been now tracking for quite some time, and escape velocity from that area takes us to 74 cents really quickly. Now, we said that with Bitcoin, there is the bull market support area, which is AKA the F around find out zone, right? We know that area for Bitcoin is 46,000. AVAX, its bull market support area is $21. That's also its F around and find out zone. That's where we need to see support. Same thing for Jewel. Its bull market support area is this green box here, and that is between 15 cents and 29 cents. We need to see Jewel. Okay, this 11 cent area is just historical support. All right, let's say for the next 5 to 10 years, that may prove to be forever the historical low. That may prove to be the historical low. With that being said, you cannot be confident in Jewel until it establishes itself not only into this F around and find out zone slash the bull market support zone. No matter what it does in here, it needs to break out. It needs to find support here at this 29 cent region before it breaks out. So even if we do break out to 74 cents, it's more likely that it's not going to continue going up. It's going to come back down to test its bull market support area slash F around and find out zone. Why? We've seen multiple times rejection, rejection, rejection at the bottom of that zone, break out above that zone, come back up, rejection, rejection, right? So even though we are confident in Jewel and its price action, it needs to grow beyond this F around and find out zone slash this bull market support zone. So that's really all we are tracking for Jewel for the next month or so is, can we get through, find this support at 11 cents, establish ourselves within and out of this zone, come back to test it, and for the first time, turn it into support when testing it. I'm very confident that that is what's going to happen to Jewel, but nobody wants to put their life on the line here. Nobody wants to say they're bullish on Jewel here because it could just break down, and if it breaks down, they're gonna burn you at the stake, right? But this is what we do. This is the trade room. We talk probability. We make inferences. We put our neck on the line for the data points in which we are looking at. Now, somebody asked me, do I think that Jewel is going to make all-time highs? I don't. That's just, that's just my opinion. I don't think that Jewel goes back to all-time high, and that's okay, because from the area that it's in now, right, my belief, and I'm going to go to the monthly chart, my belief is that Jewel can get to about $5.58. More conservatively, $4, right? $4 to $5, I think Jewel can do, especially because it has to get through a lot of this traffic here, and it's still very, very, very far behind Bitcoin. So I think $5 is very doable. And when you look at the current price, I mean, what is that, right? 11 cents, 11 times Nine is like brings you at $1. Then you take that in consideration to a 5x, 9, 18, 27, 36, 42, a 42x. I wouldn't complain about that, right? If you're dollar cost averaging now and you're doing, I wouldn't feel terrible about that. But I don't think it hits all time high. I think some ridiculous things would need to happen to do that. And I'm the most bullish mother effer on Jewel, and I don't think it's going to get all time high. And I would like to be pleasantly surprised. But that's what we have on Jewel, right? Stick says I'm in my F around find out zone mentally. Hey, sometimes the F around and find out zone mentally is a good place to be, right? Because sometimes it's like I'm focused, don't F with me. I'm in my zone. I'm about to hit that peak pinnacle. Because the F around and find out zone could very easily turn into your bull market support area, right? Stick says I just bought $150 Jewel because listen, you can't ever get me with that. I always say that my streaming here, what I do here, this is my journal. Okay, and I've been okay with sharing my journal with the rest of the community because you have people like Sticks Intern, sharing gameplay, and helping people out. We have people like Just, putting out, hey, how to defeat these monsters. You have so many people in the community doing their thing. And what I can bring is to just share my open journal of what I'm tracking. And again, when Jewel was going crazy and I was selling, people would say, oh, you're crazy. Why? Oh, you're gonna miss out on the gains. Guess who was right? Right? So I'm bringing my talents to South Beach. I'm bringing my talents to DFK. Two Noob said he filled his bag. My bags are still not filled yet because I have a tendency to burn my Jewel. I have a tendency to just buy it, it sits there, and then I use it for stuff. And so I got to figure out how to stop doing that. But I do think the time is there, especially now that we sit at that red support area and we keep getting the market really aggressively buying that support area. So I need some more time. I'm so happy that Bitcoin has been correcting because I have needed this time to stack up my bag. Um, we have Sticks Intern saying you're right. I didn't do it just because you said anything. I fought it because the Jewelers Guild told me to. Hey, you're gonna see on tonight's stream that says this is not financial advice on the banner that comes across. Rempen says same. I just use it. It is hard to, but again, that's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of the mechanisms in the game. It's the beauty of the deflationary aspect of the game. And it's a beauty that, my goodness, imagine that we keep this up for 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 years, and Jewel supply out of that 120, X amount is locked up, X amount has been burned, and now instead of 120 million Jewel, we're sitting at 100 million Jewel, and now there's more scarcity, right? And so we understand the ecosystem we're in. I hope that I'm able to bring some understanding with the charts as we look at these ecosystems. And you guys know I go by the order of liquidity. The order of liquidity, where Bitcoin is the end all be all, so we have to look at Bitcoin. We move on then to AVAX, right? Because it's one of the top 10 in the blockchain space, but also too, it's where one of the main games that we play, DeFi Kingdom, sits in. And AVAX has been having healthy price action, predictable price action that we've been tracking. And then we come to Jewel, which is in that lower market cap range, which now has a ton of history. Love the fact that we have all this history on the charts, and we are trying to make sure that we understand what the order of liquidity looks like in order to not panic with the ecosystem that we are in. So that's what I wanted to leave you guys with today. Honey, what the F is happening with Bitcoin? We're just having our correction, the 20 to 30% correction that we've been speaking about. And even someone like me who expected the 20 to 30% correction at some point started running out of patience. And and was like, all right, 58K support is here. Let's move on. And Bitcoin will humble you. But all in all, love what we're seeing right now on the different altcoin support areas. A lot of different altcoin support areas are having hard bounces. And those areas will probably come back to be tested. So AVAX is probably going to come back to test that $21 region. But as long as that holds as support, great dollar cost averaging opportunities, and a great way to bring the sentiment of the market as low as we could possibly go. Before I wrap up with the last little neat thing that I want to show you, I want to look at the fear and greed meter, because that's a it's a neat thing to be looking at, right? Crypto fear and greed index. There we go. All right, so the fear and greed index is at 29. Last week it was at 47. Last month it was extreme greed at 77. So like these are some of the things you want to look at for sentiment check, right? You want to look at these things for sentiment check. When Jewel was running to 74 cents, yeah, the greed was probably around like 99, which is why I was more willing to sell. But when you look at the fear and greed index, to get the fear and greed index in that 20 range, 20 to 30 range, beautiful, 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 and a great indicator that the bottom is in or the bottom is forming to get in. And the charts don't just change instantaneously. Reversals don't just change instantaneously. The sentiment has to be down a little bit. Prices have to be down a little bit. It has to feel like doom and gloom. It has to feel like a surprise to the market to get those reversal upsides if and when you are in a bull market. And I still strongly believe that we are in a bull market. So that's more on the serious end, right? Now we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Now we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Hey, you can come in. Now we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Okay. So it's blazing hip hop and R&B on this East Coast. So if you're in the AVAX ecosystem, right, and you're doing your thing, meme coins went crazy, right? Meme coins went crazy. And again, the same period where I said Bitcoin is due for a 20 to 30% correction, in the same area, meme coins were due for a 70 to 90% correction. It is just what it is. Dog with hat, if you bought in those low regions and you're doing your thing, great. If you happen to be buying at those $3 to $4 regions and now it's down over 60 to 70% from that region, I'm sorry. This is crypto. This is what happens. But there's one particular meme coin in the AVAX ecosystem that I do want to highlight, and that one is Cock Inu. Okay, and Cock Inu is one that did really well price action wise, and I'm seeing some development. I'm really seeing some development in their ecosystem, and a tweet that I put up recently epitomizes that what I'm seeing in the ecosystem, right? So if I can find this tweet, maybe I can find it. Oh man, I thought I had this tweet here. I don't know what happened to my tweets. But if we head over to, and I'm just gonna head over to the Cockbook. So not only is there a meme coin, in this ecosystem. And not only are they doing other things, but there has been a sports betting book platform created in the Cock Inu ecosystem. Now, uh, is sports betting or betting a good thing? No, it's a very addictive thing. Is that industry growing tremendously over the last 3 to 5 years? Really, even with something like ESPN promoting it and creating their own platform? Hell yeah. And so, a lot of times when it comes to investing, you're looking at the trend, no matter if this is something you are a fan of or not. And so to see that there is development, real development in this ecosystem, providing real products of entertainment and leisure as well. This seems pretty brand new. And it seems like they're just starting out, but it's the sport book built for cock community. And a part of their mechanism and a part of what they do is that when you use your cock, pun intended, when you use your cock tokens to place these bets and do your thing, a portion of it gets burnt. But you can also win from putting your cock into these sports betting. And we're seeing that sports, major sports like soccer, basketball, football, right now it's soccer season, you're seeing that they're having real use and utility within their platform. And we're going to be covering Cock Inu more and more as we gear towards this Bitcoin clearing its correction. I am a cock holder. I have been dollar cost averaging into that ecosystem. And this is what the platform looks like, right? You got the Cockbook VIP. They accept Cock, but they're going to be accepting USDC soon as well. And I mean, look at this. You can go soccer, football. You have Colombia just destroying Panama, and they have live bets available for you. You can go in and click your soccer bet. You can take a look at what that game is. If we believe that the July 6th game, if Uruguay is gonna beat Brazil, then we can click Uruguay, right? Your bet slip comes up, and you have to put MCOC in, which is really just, I think, every million cock is one MCOC. They just kind of deduce it that way. And then they're burning a ton of MCOP, right? And so just seeing this ecosystem, seeing development is not just a freaking dog with hats that has nothing going on for itself. There's like actually a real engine value building mechanisms with these meme coins. And that's why um, we're going to look at the cock chart in a bit. And just to reiterate my whole thesis on sports betting and why I'm really intrigued by what Kakinu is doing here. Uh, this is the online sports betting worldwide, global numbers. Okay, it's a $45 billion industry in 2024, right? And you're seeing the revenue just climb, 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 right? 2024, 45 billion. And we're looking to have that go up about like what, 25, 27%, or even 30% by 2029. So it's an industry that is growing, right? And a lot of times you can't just make stuff up. You have to kind of look at what's out there, right? And so I say all this, right, to say that I am a cock holder. It's not financial advice, but I do like where the cock token is. I loved where it was when it showed bullish price action. And I continue to like what I'm seeing from the cock ecosystem. And when we look at the chart, right, we saw this magnificent rise here where it went up an absorbent percent. We even see here from the lows, another what? This is 6,000% that it went up here. And it has had a corrective period, but it is creating a very nice baseline here. We got a strong bounce here at the support area here. We had the RSI, everything cooled off. And again, very similar to what? Bitcoin, AVAX, Jewel, is that this support area is most likely going to be retested. Okay. don't be surprised to see some sort of movement like this. But if this can do a double test and hold that support, it's really good upside, in my opinion, for COC. And the upside for COC is this green region here. And from our current prices here, if this is the upside for COC here, percentage wise, let me just get this thing here. Percentage wise, about a 400%, but that's safe. You know, that's if you're trying to be ultra safe, a 400% return from where we are now. We know that there could be higher prices, but that's just where I want to see COC to feel confident that there's going to be future and further growth price wise. And that brings us to this upper region here of price that we are tracking. And again, from the area that we are now, it's about 1,000%. Okay. And so, you know, I'm in this ecosystem. I already hold some AVAX here and there. Already, you know, hold some Jewel. I'm in the ecosystem. I'm on the blockchain. I'm seeing the meme coin rush. There was that first big run of meme coins. Don't be scared now. Scared money don't make no money. Okay, tell your girlfriend or your wife that. Scared money don't make no money. So I wanted to kind of finish off with some, you know, insight into AVAX, insight into some of the higher risk things that are in that ecosystem, and you know, really looking at the downtrend that has come in the market, and still superbly confident in where we are in the market. Um, are you gonna be 100% accurate, especially when you are doing charts? No, but we have probability, we have macro patterns, and overall, since we've been tracking uh, and streaming what's been going on in the space, we've been pretty on point. Timing may be off here and there, but in terms of the macro picture, what we're looking at, even especially, excuse me, even especially with Jewel, you know, we've been seeing uh, reversals happening when market sentiment is at its lowest. So, honey, what's really going on with Bitcoin? What's going on with Bitcoin is those who do not have the cojones are being stomped out. Okay, we're capitulating. We're getting rid of those who actually don't know what they're doing here. And then when we get to those higher prices, those same individuals will be flooding back in. Your account is going to be okay. We're still waiting for the top of the bull market. And we have the charts to guide us and to help us. And this is the setup. This is the setup for the next phase and the last phase of this current bull market when it comes to Bitcoin. And honey, I hope that I've given you enough data points, enough probability points, and enough opinion points for you to understand that there is better to come. So, taking a look at the chat, Ren says the way trade so effortlessly admits I'm a cockholder. I am a cockholder, man. I just think the puns are just so hilarious. And thinks that I have so much respect for his aggressive holding strategy. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta hold that cock strong, man. You gotta hold that cock strong. Call it that trade room grip. Yeah, best mother effing believe it. All right. That, yeah, Stick says I want to see cock. You know, I think this is where we end our stream today. Guys, make sure to see us in about an hour on the Jewelers Podcast. I will be on with um, I'll be on with T Heat. We're going to be covering a lot of what is happening in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem that I have not been able to cover in what's going on here that I have not been able to cover in today's stream. You know, save some of that good stuff, right? Save some of that good for tonight's stream that we are going to be having on we're going to be having the Jewelers Podcast. So make sure you guys tune in for that. It's going to be a good one. you know, I actually meant to give a huge shout out to Dags in the beginning, but I get a little excited sometimes. But just a huge shout out to Dags. Much respect for him. You know, he's handling something with his family right now, and it's a bit tough. But this is what a community is for. This is what a guild is for, and we're gonna hold it down for him. And we hope to see him sooner than later. And we're highly anticipating his return back here. But you know, you guys had me at T Heat for the night, and we're gonna bring that heat, right? So Stick says he was quoting me though, but yeah, you know, hey, we all want to see some cock, right? We want to see cock go up in price action. We want to see their continued development there, and I'm right there with you on that, Ren. Definitely mixed bags. Definitely excited to see him. Mega's also doing his thing, going out, enjoying himself. He's so super consistent, and we'll have him back as well. So, guys, that is it for this stream. Thank you for being here. If you did not put a thumbs up, just make sure to go and put that thumbs up there. And we will be catching you on that next stream. Good day. Happy America's birthday. We will be catching you on the next one.